everybody? Welcome to Open the Gates. I'm your host, Matt Burke. And tonight we're going to be having on Adam Lawson. He's going to be talking about his fucking metal book, Jawbone Death. So if you guys give a warm welcome to Adam, that would be awesome.
Boom.
What's up, bro?
Matt, thanks for having me on. You know, I know it's like, it was part of the cool thing about this comic scene, right? I think we've kind of circled each other. I backed your book in the past, and we've just kind of connected in chats. You know what I mean, on live, and then it's fun to be here face to face. But I love how this kind of works out, right? Like you get to connect with the people you love and are in the same arena with. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I remember you came out with the 8th, and I mean, I still haven't picked that one up. I was just like, damn, that book looks sick. Like the slipcase, the presentation. You've always been a creator that's always bringing something new and innovative to your books, which people like me and in the space I take note of, and I find it inspiring.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I this is the book for The Exile, the one I did with Wesley Snipes.
Oh yeah.
And to kind of, here's an average sized comic, and here's this one.
Oh yeah.
You can see how much bigger it is. It's actually a little taller than a French book. But it's this oversized soft cover. Because I came to find, actually, when you do something oversized and hardcover, it gets to be so unwieldy. People actually, they like it, but then they never read it because it's just like, it's this big bulky thing that you can't take anywhere.
Yeah.
So by making it soft cover, it became much more readable.
I see.
And then we added a ribbon. To it.
I got to get that one too.
yeah, and this cover only exists for Indiegogo, right?
Oh wow.
This went into retail. This comic, we sold about 100,000 copies, if you can imagine, in retail of the single issues. But this is the Indiegogo version, and it's of course unfortunately taken forever. But it arrives here, here this week from the boat in China.
Nice.
Hey, Hex. But once again, like you're saying, the presentation, because I feel like if you're going to crowdfund or back a book, if it's just what you could get in retail,
right.
It's not that it's disingenuous. I remember back when I very first even understood what this was. I backed this book. I think it was Iron Sights. Was this very first book? Somebody said, "Hey, there's this book. It's doing well." And I remember getting it. I remember when I got it, and I was like, oh, "This just looks like it's just like stuffed in an envelope, and it just was what you could get at the regular store, but you didn't have to wait as long, and it's cheaper." And so I was. Not that I was mad at the guy. It's just what it was. It just wasn't. And I liked it. I've still backed some of his other books, but it didn't have any like presentation to it, right?
Right.
Like it was
no wow factor.
There was no wow factor.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something. At least I feel that there's something to that. When people are coming in, and taking a risk on your book, right? Because they're taking a ride. They don't know, some of these books have gone 3-4 years without delivering yet, and they don't know if you're going to get there, and is it going to be any good? You're not. I'm not Alan Moore, and
right.
So, but then if you at least that they get it, then when they get it, they feel like, oh wow, this is something special.
Oh,
this feels elevated in some way, right?
Oh yeah.
That makes it feel like, okay, really couldn't get this in store or whatever. Anyway, so I try to give that in some way to every campaign.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like what you did with the Kill Journal, where it was the actual, a prop from the book, like in the story, with the character almost in some regard.
It was the leather bound. We did this whole special thing, right?
Yeah.
So that it could feel like that, like you were reading, because like you're saying in the book, the preacher is keeping his Kill Journal, and then you essentially got that copy. And like this is the retail, copy of the Kill Journal, which is on the Jawbone Death campaign for $15. I had to put it as cheap as you could do it, just so you could
killer price.
Just because it was myself and the same artist, our first go, and it's it's 132 pages of awesome action. It's an action horror story about slashers and survivors, and those few who've survived their attacks getting together and going and hunting down the mass killers. Took everything from them, but like this is what you get in store, right? So if this showed up, you're not mad.
Oh yeah, sure.
If you get the leather bound, but if you get this experience, right?
That's I got that one with you right there.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, amazing. Yeah. Thanks, man. So, but if you get this, it's not that these two are different one's a better
I
story.
I like them both, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah, but when this comes out of the
reasons.
package, you're like, I was a part of something cool,
Yeah,
right?
I was part of the part of the creation of it.
Yeah, yeah, and I got something that like you're saying when buddies are over and you're like, yeah, check this out, and you're like,
Oh, for
whoa, that
sure.
feels cool, right?
Yeah,
So something to be said for that. So with Jawbone Death, now because this is going out, I'm going to try this in single issues, right?
nice, nice.
Um, so I was like, what can be something that's cool in single issue? Because this type of thing for 28 pages seems a little crazy, and so it was going to be, so it's going to be a wrap cover. In fact,
Nice.
it's going to be foil as well. So it's going to be this chrome foil, and let me show you the actual cover. So here's the book for the record. It's all done.
Hell
Here's
yeah.
here's all the pages. It's all
Thick.
complete.
Yeah.
All traditional artwork. Jason Krager, my artist, just delivered these epic pages. If you can see, we've sold 15 of them already, or 6, 7, 15,
Damn.
17, 18 of them already.
Like hotcakes.
Yeah, 11 by 17. They're these gorgeous pages, right? That, at least for me, once you start holding, I don't know about you, Matt, but like once you start holding an 11 by 17 piece of like it's kind of like the artist's blood is on this page, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
there's something
See
different.
the white out, and sometimes you can smell the cigarettes or
Exactly.
all that good
Right.
stuff.
Yeah. I love that you said cigarettes. Thank you for that call, because Jason does smoke.
Yeah.
And so there is a bit of that in there that's just, for me at least, it's like, oh, this is
Oh
this
yeah.
is somebody's hands made this, in the most true sense. And so I love these pages, and I love to show them off because you can just see the scope of what this book is. Phil Diaz kind of called it Lobo meets the Crow.
Oh, I love
I
both
think-
those.
Yeah, right. And I think for Phil Diaz, everything is Lobo meets something. But this is one of my favorite sequences here. This is our villain. This is one of our villains here. It's the Queen. The Myth Slayer is the villain in this story. And see this huge worm. Like, that's her armor when she's at war. Like, that's her like insect shape, because she's really a human woman that became this, right?
Oh yeah.
But then when she wants to go back to human form, she gets thrown up by this beast, and like she's in this sack.
Brutal.
She's all broken up into pieces, and then she, breaks herself back into shape.
I love that, man. That's so like deep. Night of the Demons, Evil Dead, like Evil
Yep.
Deadian. You know what I mean? The Exorcist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking metal and horrific at the same time. To be
That's
honest
right.
with you, man, I got a little peek at your book. I couldn't read the
Oh.
whole. I couldn't read the whole thing though, because it was so fucking good. I didn't want to finish the ending. I had to put it down.
Okay.
It's so fucking juicy, and it grabbed you by the throat. I love the whole beginning of it, and how just the intro with her,
Right. Yep.
and so like this scene right here, just
Yeah.
the whole setup, man. That's really really.
That's amazing. I'm glad you got to look at the pages and to read it.
Oh yeah,
Here is that cover, that special wrap cover,
love it.
right? Just when I look at this thing, it's the one thing I'm not selling. The only thing I'm not selling this in one of the pages, because it's just like,
You got to hold on to it, man.
I need this. Just if
That's
nothing
over
ever
the
happens.
fireplace.
Yeah, exactly right. That goes over
Something
the
like that.
fireplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, that's right. So the story setup is, our villain, as we were just talking about her, our villain is this character called the Myth Slayer, and he's this ancient, timeless creature with one arm that's like this 100-armed centipede. Brian Kreisgau. That's one of the best, for the record. If anybody's doubting, that's arguably the best writer in the indie comic scene right there. And
Hell yeah.
he's worked a bunch for me. He wrote this last story for me. We've got another one coming out. He's really one of the best in the game. So anybody who doubts that, I'm going to squash that doubt. But our villain is the Myth Slayer, right? And his thing is he consumes all the other myths into one and enslaves the world, right? That's his mission, right? And by that, it's like, by myths, it's like religions, activists, people who have, more extreme beliefs. He can manipulate those beliefs and bring them under his banner, right?
Yeah.
And so kind of like, and not that it's a negative slight against religion. It's just how somebody can manipulate all the faiths so that they just essentially just join his, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah, like his cult.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and he corrupts people's, good natured convictions, right?
Yeah.
And so he has been, and Reina, right? As you mentioned the opening, she is this mentally unwell person who starts to hear these voices that are talking to her, and it's the Myth Slayer. And he convinces her to kill her parents and to sacrifice them to the killing tree and to cut it down, which is his prison, and then to unleash the Myth Slayer. So
Love
he's
that.
been entrapped for 1,000 years. Speaking of, this is very all heavy metal, right?
Hell
And then
yeah.
she cuts down the tree and he emerges from this tree, but he's weakened, right? And he has to grow in power and influence. And she is his queen in the sense that she kind of births these monsters that become
Love it.
his minions, to do damage. And so he whispers to people and converts them and draws them in. And then on the other side, we have a hero. We have our anti-hero. We have Mitch Bernthal, who becomes Jawbone Death, who is this burned out biker, Matt, probably your age, my age type of guy
Yeah.
who's has only a lifetime of bad choices behind them and like knuckles of iron, and he's an enforcer for this red animal biker gang.
Nice,
And
nice.
he also starts to hear a voice, but it's a holy voice, if you will, saying you're going to hell.
I love that.
And so he has like this awakening right in the middle of him, like and beating up this snitch. And the gang leader is telling him to kill this guy, and instead he turns his gun around and kills the gang leader and explodes his life, right? Then he's
Yeah.
hunted by the gang and ultimately ends up dead, almost dead at the bottom of this ravine where his blood it happens to be on the gravesite of this ancient warrior, and holy Leviathan warrior. Right?
That's one thing I loved about your story is like you guys had the balls to like, do the somewhat of a Judeo-Christian take on that a little bit.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
And
totally.
some people don't do that no more. It's like I don't know, man. They just don't, And so I
Yeah,
love that. Like I love like Dante's Inferno. I know it's a game, but I love that a lot. There was a little bit of that in there.
totally.
I love the Templar. Taking up the balance. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think you're right. And this is a story about myths. You know what I mean? I'm a believer, so I'm on the personal note, but like this is a story about myths, right? So we had to pick the myth that would be the one that would fight back, and it's the Judeo-Christian myth, right?
yeah,
And it's this myth slayer, this Leviathan warrior. They call him that because he slew the great Leviathan beast in the Bible, and he uses its jawbone as a weapon. Like that's his sword. Is this?
little metal.
Yeah, it's all heavy, all metal, right? Because it's like instead of a magical sword, it's the jawbone of a monster, right? Imagine a dragon in size. And he was part of the people that locked this myth slayer up 1,000 years ago. But he's dead. He's passed from this life, and he can't come back to our realm except through an avatar, right? So here he's got Mitch, our broken biker at the bottom of this ravine, and he says, I guess you are the one that's been chosen for me to be my avatar. And Mitch accepts it. And even though he's like broken both body and soul, and this Leviathan warrior's like, well, listen, I can fix your body, but you have to fix your soul. And so then he then becomes this avatar of this ancient warrior. And he's got to fight against the Myth Slayer and his massive horde. So it's one man against an impossible army, right? A war that he's most likely going to lose, Matt, right? That's just kind of how it kind of is going to go for him. But it's his one chance to save his own soul by doing something good, and his ex-wife was in the hospital in part because of him. That he's promised that her body will
Carry
be
that
fixed.
around.
Yep,
That
will be
weight,
fixed.
right?
Yep, he's got all that heavy guilt, and it's this one thing that maybe he can fix in this world, to somehow he can't make his past pure, but maybe he can save this one person, and and so he's on this impossible quest, against an army that is much more deadly. Here's like this moment where Raina starts to hear the voice of the Myth Slayer, right? We wanted to give this impressionistic sort of dreamlike sense to her madness.
It's a shirt.
Yeah,
You got a lot
right.
of you got a lot of shirts right there, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
I know like black and white is like played out, but I mean, I fucking love the black and white like stuff on T-shirts and things like this. Art just, oh my god, you know.
I know, right? Just Jason just crushed it. So this is the Myth Slayer. This is our principal beast. This guy here with the centipede arm. This is him, and then this is his queen.
So cool.
It's just very metal as we say. And so then this is the moment that Mitch decides to become Jawbone, and he picks up the the jawbone of the Leviathan, and he also puts on the iron helm of the Leviathan warrior. And through this helm, the Leviathan warrior can speak to him and inspire him. And so, albeit he's certainly a tough enforcer, he knows combat. He doesn't necessarily know the depth of his powers yet, right? He's an evolving avatar. But this page, I know, I just love this one with all of my heart. Right?
Krager, man.
When we were talking about it, I know Krager just killed it. It was like,
you could tell he was having fun with this shit.
Yeah, exactly right. Can this be our ode to He-Man here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By the power of Grayskull.
Yeah. And then here's that first assault on the Queen. This double page spread, which Maroney got. Just this incredible piece.
Came up right there.
Yep. And
so epic, man.
So he's now so Matt. So he's then waged in this war, and it makes me think. You remember that moment in Avengers Endgame when Captain America is all alone and his shield has been broken, and his arm's broken, and he tightens the leather to keep it there on his arm.
Yeah.
And then he steps out on the edge of that ravine, and it's him alone on one side, and it's Thanos and his whole horde on the other side.
Yeah.
This book is that story, except unlike Captain America, that no Avengers come to help him. It just stays him. It just stays him on the cliff.
Oh man.
And so I love what these. So the story, is definitely metal in its scope and its funness, right? Like here's part of this conflict with the Queen, and he gets, devoured or almost by her little offspring. It has a great deal of heart and depth, and like you're saying, Judeo-Christian myth and principle in it. So it's a kind of a crazy mix.
Very Old Testament.
Yes, Old Testament.
Very Old Testament is you got to fear, and I'm a Christian, so, and I'm really a God-fearing man, so I don't know. It's Yeah, you
get it. This is Old Testament. This is the walls of Jericho stuff, right? This is this is Joshua reclaiming the Holy Land kind of stuff, right? Where it's a dark task ahead, but there is great character and resolve required, and so this is our tale, and I wanted to infuse it with with some, like you're saying, some incredible myth that for many is not a myth, it's real, like for yourself, and but that it would be mixed in with these other myths that were being consumed. This is like his moment where he has that awakening. I love how Jason, when he hears the voice, he put that little cross in his eye.
Love it, man.
Right? Isn't that nice?
I love it. I mean, to me, it also reminds me of like the old like comics from like the '90s, the underground shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Crow and Faust. And a lot of that stuff I'm really into right now. So it's like simpatico with like what I'm digging right now. Like looking for, searching, diving into the bins for, and it's just, I don't know, it's coming out at the perfect time.
Yeah, I think you're right. I love that you're saying that. It's like that early Crow stuff that that Obar did, right? How like raw and real that felt. This is my favorite page. It's the only one that's not going out to backers. It's
that's another shirt, man. There's a lot of shirts in there.
I know, right? So
I'm just saying, like, damn, I would rock that shit.
I know. Well, so Jason did a shirt. A shirt, and we art. If you look on the campaign. You can see it. I don't know if you want me to throw it up or you, but you can see the.
Sure. I could share it, or I have it actually right here.
Oh yeah, go for it.
If you want me to share it, or you could.
Yeah, no, you go for it, man.
Okay.
You're the master of this stream,
Let's see here. All right.
And
You got the shirt right here, huh?
yeah, so you can see the shirt, and if you go down lower, you can see a bigger a bigger version of it. But like Jason did this art for the
Yeah.
shirt, and I tried different pages. But what he did here, because it doesn't have a background, it doesn't have a context of a page, it
Yeah.
ended up just feeling more complete on a shirt, right? Because
No, it
it
looks good.
sort of set it all.
Perfect.
And I love the vibe of it, the texture, the green light,
I love the
smoke
teardrop
dithering out of it.
diamond like figure, you know,
Yep.
almost. Yeah, just the bust and oh man, I remember you had like a poll up on Twitter and it was hard. It was hard. Like I like the yellow one a lot. And
Yep.
I like the gray one. But it's a hard way to do it with the you know the hair's got to pop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All the
And-
everything's got to pop. You know. So
yeah, no, I totally agree. I personally liked the yellow the best, but I'm a guy who wears a yellow t-shirt, and not everybody is, right? And I think so
Yeah.
sometimes when you only have one option, and you're trying to think, okay, how can I land this? And black t-shirts are so many.
yeah,
Whereas but what I like about gray is it sort of accomplishes everything that black does. It can be worn with anything. People
exactly.
who may be more body conscious or whatever, like it always lands, and it isn't just another black T-shirt in your closet, right? And I
Exactly.
get these printed on premium Bella Canvas
Ooh, the thick
shirts
stuff.
that are
Yeah, the good stuff.
well, yeah, it has proper hang. It's not boxy and like
Yeah,
it's sort of like boxy and stiff cotton. You know what I'm talking about? It just is like you never wear it because you're like, this thing is miserable.
Yeah, it
Whereas this
hurts.
actually has
Iron Maiden.
text. Yeah, right. And then you're just like you get it at Comic-Con and you look like a box, and
Like,
then
hey.
you never wear it again because it's too awkward, right?
Yeah,
Whereas this has some shape and texture to it, so that it actually feels like a clean, decent T-shirt that you'd wear, and then it's just badass. And so there's a couple of pages left. I priced them to the absolute bottom on price because I feel like certain these
Oh, yeah.
pages, put
Killer
them at
deal, man.
$165. That gets you the page, also obviously the book. But I wanted to, page art is generally speaking pretty expensive, and as a result, usually between 400 and 100 and 1,000, and that takes it out of a lot of people's price range. And not because they don't like it, but just because there's just times being what they are financially, and also just life. It's hard to always prioritize that much money to a piece of art, right?
right.
And so I was like, with this, once again, about doing this special campaign, how can I support these people who came in at the very beginning
Yeah,
and give this at the absolute base that I can give it, so that it gives a chance for people who maybe can't normally get it, or even people who normally do, a chance to like own a piece of history, right? And anyway, so that's what it was for me with these images and making these pages super available.
that's awesome, man. I got to ask you a question though.
Yeah.
What's your favorite metal band?
Oh, the favorite metal band. It's funny that you said it because it's I did a music video for Iron Maiden, if you can imagine.
Oh shit.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
back in the day, when I was doing music videos like a ton, I did Disturbed, the whole thing. But there's this band that so so I have proper respect and love for that. But there was this band that was a smaller band, never obviously became what Iron Maiden is and was, called Maylene and the Sons of Disaster.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
And they did this song "Gusty Like the Wind," and I even got the rights to it for a movie I produced called "How to Make Love to a Woman" with Kristen Ritter and Ian Somerhalder. And so it was in the film because I liked it so much.
Ooh, nice.
And so if you don't know it, Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, "Gusty Like the Wind," is just like, to me, this is kind of like an ultimate metal song. And whenever and there's certainly other greater metal bands, but like when you say like your favorite, like you're talking about like the one that's in your heart, you know what I mean? Like
all the
it's
time.
a different conversation. But it's this is one there is anyways that always just sort of resonated with me. And this album that was on Gusty Like the Wind. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me see. is let me see if I can I play, let me do this. Let me do a share screen here.
Sweet. Oh yeah, dude. You're the first person that's ever done this, I think. On the show.
Okay.
Because I always ask people what their favorite metal band is. It's part of my shtick.
Oh, it's got to be. Well, share audio. Share a tab instead. Okay. So,
and me, I'm a metal stan, so I just like all metal pretty much for the most part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like all the subgenres. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I listen to all styles of music, but metal is like, 80% of this, but I got to break it up. Got to get the palate cleanser sometimes.
Yeah, no, you have to, right? You can't always, that can't be everything, right?
Oh, Corey.
And so, okay, here we go. Let me pull this up here. Because to share with audio, I got to do this. Okay, here we go. So let's see here, Microsoft Edge tab. Okay, so you seeing it?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, so here it is. Let me know if you can hear it.
Can't hear it yet.
Oh, you're not hearing it? Are you not hearing it?
No.
That's odd because it's supposed to share audio. Let me try that one more time. Okay. Stop share. Okay, so present.
That's cool.
Share screen. Microsoft Edge tab.
What's up? Ask him. How you doing, brother?
Also share the tab audio. Boom. All right, how about now?
Oh, it's going to play now. Here we go.
Can you hear it? Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, there it is. Okay, so mainly in the Sons of Disaster, gusty like the wind.
Oh, Adam clicked out a little bit, so he'll be back in a second. But it's always good to oh, what's up, brother?
Yeah, so anyway, so Maylene and Sons of Disaster, gusty like the wind. Anyways, I even used it in a film. I loved it so much. But I think that kind of personifies like that feeling of metal that I appreciate. Anyways, but I don't know why I can't get to play the audio. So
we got it notated so we can check it out. You know what I mean? We go back and watch it. When you're writing your stories, man, do you listen to music at all? Do you listen to wordless music? Like for me, when I'm writing, I like to listen to like movie scores.
Yeah.
What do you like to do?
Yeah, it's interesting that I some folks are like, I need music when I work out. I need music when I do stuff to underscore it. I'm actually a guy who is kind of a bit more the opposite, right?
Silence.
A little bit more of that, yeah. So I certainly do. Sometimes you'll put on headphones to have music just to kind of, if you're in a place with too much going on, right? That just to bring it down. And I'm like yourself there, like something more instrumental is for sure where my head goes when you're writing, so it doesn't start to like compete with you for to compete with your words. But there's something about like when I'm writing something, I get pretty introverted in my head about it, and I can start to hear the voices and the sounds of people talking, and it starts to kind of be this sort of mad ballet. And so sometimes if I find it for myself, silence is easier for that. But yes, I'm with you about the music scores. Definitely Hans Zimmer falls into
he's
that.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? I think he is someone that like he has such a range of emotion that I always go to. So for sure.
Listen to him. I mean, popcorn or bubble gum, whatever you want. I love his Batman Begins score. You know what I mean? And I go look for the metal covers of it on YouTube. There's so many people that cover that. Like they'll have like just musicians that do the metal version of it, And then Basil Polidoris, I love his RoboCop and Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, that's just some of the best, right?
Yeah. Also, another one I like is oh man, I forgot his name, but the guy that does Lord of the Rings. That one's really
Howard
good.
Shore.
I was thinking Howard Shore. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, it's Howard Shore. Yeah, but it's funny you mentioned Batman Begins with Hans Zimmer because I'm switching between that one and The Dark Knight. Mm-hmm. There's this one track, like a dog chasing cars from The Dark Knight.
Joker theme or something.
That track from that Hans Zimmer by that, it's just like there's this like this momentum to it and like this madness that like really is a great is a great piece for me that I just love absolutely. So these one.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. You got a favorite movie, man?
It's funny that you say that because I kind of vacillate between sort of two camps of like when you come to my favorite, it's like the early Spielberg, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Goonies, Back to the Future. That's like deep in my heart. And then the other side of it is kung fu movies, right? And it's early John Woo with like Hard Boiled, and then also early Jet Li with Once Upon a Time in China. These are my favorite films I can always return to, along with Enter the Dragon. So it's kind of like I vacillate between this sense of adventure and then like kung fu. Hey, Ollie.
What's up, dude?
Hey, he's joining the chat.
Dude, huh?
Hey,
what's up, little dude? I got a couple of those running around in the other room too.
Yeah. Hey, Ollie, you were supposed to stay downstairs, my boy. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool,
say hi.
Huh? I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
What's up, little dude?
But I'm a big kung fu movie fan.
Me too, man.
So yeah, it's just like Munchkin. I know the invasion has become Brian knows this routine. Okay, Ollie, hold on 1 second. Let me just get him.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, 1 second here, Matt.
Yeah, that's cool that Adam, he was citing martial arts films. I fucking love martial arts movies and just hearing new ones. I bring this topic up a lot on the show too when I can. Mike Barron was on the other day, but talking martial arts and comics, fight scenes in comics. I love seeing the whole breakdown and the way they're throwing their punches, their kicks, their throws, their arm bars, what have you. A lot of stuff in comics, you'll just have the swing and then, the after effect, and it's melodrama, just the wind back but you don't get the connect, and I'm really big about seeing the whole, martial arts of it. I'm like 99.9% sure Adam feels the same way because if he's into these movies that much, dude, would love to see like the fight choreography in a comic. And that I think it's really fucking hard to do. But once you nail it down, when you're, again, me, I'm talking like I'm a pro or something. I ain't shit. I'm just a greenhorn making comics in a comics garage. But, I still like to think about like a cool move in my head and I write it out, and it takes a long time to actually think up that move. But once you nail it, and if you could kind of portray it on the page to where it could be exciting and entertaining, then fucking it's gold, Brian, what's up, brother? Most of my movie collection is horror, Western, and Kung Fu. Love me some heroic bloodshed. Yeah, me too, man. What's up, brother? 80s and 90s Hong Kong cinema slaps. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like, you could just totally put that on and have a beer, smoke a J or what have you, or just chill and watch it, man. And just see them just kicking some ass. I love that. Another one too that I really liked was the Brotherhood of the Wolf. That movie is pretty cool. It's kind of artsy, but it had some really cool I don't know. I was talking about Brotherhood of the Wolf. I don't know if you ever.
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that the whole, and it's like the whole. Okay, so you got the whole fucking Beast of Javerdon concept, but they're like, let's throw some martial arts in there. It's like,
yes.
Okay, that's cool with a little French flair,
I'm all about it. It's like Donnie Yen is an all-time favorite for me. So when he joined,
TV show, kind of making a little
I love Donnie Yen so much. That's like when he joined John Wick 4, because I think the John Wick films.
I'm thinking of the other guy from Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Oh yeah. No, I wish. No, I
forgot his name. He is in John Wick though. He's in John Wick 3.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, dude. He's a villain.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, dude. I haven't seen John Wick 4. I want to see John Wick 4. But it's funny because you're talking Donnie Yen like Ip Man, and I'm talking the dude from The Crow and Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
But I love that. But I love those deeply, and John Wick, I feel like is one of the best American action movies in.
Oh yeah, I love it.
A decade, in a decade at least. Whereas it's a true movie committed to the fighting, right? You built a plot around this incredible martial arts, and Keanu is such an amazing talent. I think he is, because he's sort of effortless and so non-pretentious as a person.
Yeah.
And he and I did I shot the Cyberpunk 2077 commercial campaign and that he was in. I produced that, and
Oh, fuck yeah.
And that's just true who he is in real life too. He's just that like non-pretentious, easy, like one
I
of
love
those.
that guy.
Yeah, he's just like you meet him and you're like, you are too good. You're too
He's
good to
Silver
be
Surfer.
true.
I gotta
Yeah.
say that since you know him, he's Silver Surfer, right? He's Johnny Utah on a surfboard. Can you
Yeah,
imagine?
exactly,
He
absolutely.
could nail. I mean, but I wouldn't like. I'd have him do that, but I'd have him do multiple. I mean, he could be a bunch of different characters. But I'm like, dude, he'd be a dope ass Silver Surfer. You know?
I mean, Keanu could be anything. You know, he's
Yeah.
just such a talent. In my mind, and
Break.
yeah, absolutely. So John Wick just encompasses that. So it's kind of like this fun thing, like these two sides of me, like wanting like this sense of like childlike adventure that Spielberg captured early on, and
Yes.
then like this incredible, kung fu stories, right?
Yes.
Which I think Jet Li and Wu Ping, sort of for so long dominated that, and then dominated that for so long. Obviously, Jackie Chan on the comedy side of it.
Yes.
But I remember, first when I, as a teenager, seeing, Rumble in the Bronx and being like,
Me too.
this is right. It's just like, this is it.
Love-
This is
I'm
like,
this is so
you're
cool.
just blown away, right? And then Super Cop, and you're like, this is this whole other world out there of cinema and these stunt performers, their commitment. It's just like, I've never, anyways, nothing's ever quite been like that. And Corey, you're totally right. The 80s and 90s movies, like the 80s and 90s, particularly in the 80s, they captured that sense of innocence, right? When you think about Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1984, Back to the Future in 1985, the Goonies as well, all in those same years, these films that had this true childlike heart, but yet they weren't like a silly, like super, they weren't also safe. They cursed, and they had some mature themes in there, and they had a nuanced character interaction. On top of that, plus incredible adventure and machines, and Corey, that's right. Yeah, that's I did those. And in fact, for folks don't know, I produced I produced a lot. I was a showrunner for a lot of years, and over these last few years, particularly with onset of COVID, as several TV shows of mine got canceled, I've been focusing on the commercial side, and it's been really fun. But yeah, cool. Included that Cyberpunk campaign. I even did that last year's Super Bowl. I did that 2B spot that sort of punked everybody. I've got another one we're doing for this Super Bowl, and sort of Patrick, every sort of brand you can imagine, I've produced campaigns for. But
fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, but so like that, when it comes to movies, like that's where I think my heart is, and so
That's cool.
And there's this, I forget this guy's name that he goes by.
You really like those kung fu movies. It's funny because martial arts movies and whatnot. Hong Kong, I'll just say martial arts, but a lot of people are like Gladiator, Blade Runner. Those are like their favorite money. Like I always ask you, like those are like for me, I don't have a favorite. It's tied. I like Bram Stoker's Dracula, RoboCop, and Conan the Barbarian. Those are like my three favorite, all tied. Right. It's just kind of hard. But I mean, I don't know, man. I remember when
I think Conan the Barbarian. It's interesting that you say that because I'll just show you this real quick.
Nice.
Where did that?
Yeah, man. Adam's fucking G. That's why I like picking his brain as much as I can while I got him here. Shh, don't tell nobody.
Shoot. Okay, so I have the making.
I want to pick up the
Conan
Sumerian. Shit.
The making of Conan the Barbarian.
What? No, I haven't, man.
Picked up that book. It's this, and I just had finished it.
Dude,
I of course set it down somewhere I can't find.
There, bro.
But it's this epic, oversized book that takes you through the whole ride of the film. Mostly told you I have this producer, the woman who produced it.
Oh, okay.
So if you can imagine, it was a 27-year-old woman who produced that film.
Yeah, was it De Laurentiis?
Yeah, it's his daughter. Yep.
Yeah,
and she's amazing. She produced the Dragonheart movies. Like these very like sort of heavy metal vibe and fantasy movies. She's the queen of them. I
remember that movie, man. Dragonheart. I love that as a kid. I love that movie with Dennis Quaid.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love Stan of that, all that stuff.
Yeah, so you're getting it, and I think Conan the Barbarian is like, it's sort of this ultimate masterpiece. I loved Conan the Destroyer as well.
Yeah,
But Conan the Barbarian was still, boy, this
the score on both of them
Oliver
is
Stone
too.
really crafted something profound
Dude.
with that script. And then just the whole thing that was, it just doesn't.
Well, I
It
heard that he
doesn't.
wrote 12 movies, and they kind of just, Milius, like it just didn't work out. And Milius came in and he kind of took
Yep.
what he wanted and chopped it up.
Yep.
But
That's right.
that was going to go into the toy deal, and they got stuck with all these toy figures, and he was
Yep.
going to have Pulse of Doom. So you know the whole story, right?
Yep.
Well, basically, it became He-Man. That's why there's Skeletor, and it's fucking cool though, man. Like
Yep.
I don't know, I was totally into that.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% that those, and I think that that's kind of what inspires, where you end up with, pages like this, right? Or you end up with stories like this because there was that inspiration and that was exciting to you, and I think about like Wolfgang Petersen's The Neverending Story, right?
Got that
When
one
you
on
look
Blu-ray.
at sort of like how heavy metal that was, even though it was a
Oh,
kid's
for sure.
story with the
Yeah.
sweeping colors
Artax,
and
the colors,
Artax, exactly,
they,
and like
they rip you
Atreyu.
out the heart out pretty quick, and that's something you got to
Absolutely.
do with every story, and I've noticed yours, it's already doing that like midway through the first issue. You know what I mean? And
That's
again,
right.
like everyone that's watching, I actually got to look at the book, and I stopped reading because I didn't want to see what happened at the end, and I backed the book. I'm backer number 7.
Yeah,
So
thank you,
and
Matt.
there's 5 more coming, dude. So, and I'm glad they're not all coming out right now. That way it's episodic, and I got something to look forward to. I don't know. There's something in me that likes that too. Adam, you've been dropping like a bunch of reviews lately on social media for books.
Yep.
You're oh man, there's like a lot of cool ones I really wanted to check out. One of them was Blood Dirk. That one looked really cool. I might go to
Dude,
my
Bloodrick, I can't recommend that book enough. If anybody is thinking
Conan.
about something at your local comic shop, it's Bloodrick
Yeah,
because it is
yeah,
Conan the
dude.
Barbarian in its core. Because it's almost like so little dialogue for him, and there's this
Oh
like
yeah,
almost beautiful lyrical narration, and like it's you don't see this in comics where like every single footfall he takes is documented, and so you really live in this character's head.
I see what
And
you're saying.
it's just like one of the freshest reads
Hmm.
because I saw the author of it posted something and I ended up seeing somewhere in a repost. So I was at my local comic shop. I was, oh, I'll grab that. And I remember sitting down to read it, and just in a couple of pages, I was like, I'm just so in, right? And it's it's a writer artist. He's the whole thing himself.
I like
And
that. You get that
I
raw,
agree.
like intuitive, like
Yep.
experience.
I think there's something that happens when it's all one voice that is probably impossible to replicate when they're separated, right? I think about
Mhm.
like I don't know if you're reading Tatsuki Fujimoto's Chainsaw Man, but
No, it
that's
looks
just
cool though. I seen it at Barnes. I was like,
it's
I like
just
I like taking the kids down to Barnes, and I'm like, ooh, look at it. I want to get the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark trilogy. I love the artwork in there. It's so inspiring. Just to
yeah,
like read to them, on like Halloween and stuff. I want to have it on the shelf. But I seen
yeah.
Chainsaw Man on there, and I was just like, damn, this looks pretty cool.
It's fearless. It's fearless storytelling. Like that's what Bloodwork is. It's fearless storytelling. It's what Ultra Mega is by James Herron. That's what Do a Power Bomb
Oh,
by
dude,
Daniel Warren Johnson. These
Rumble was
are
good.
yeah, right. These are Rumble. I'm glad you brought Rumble up. Rumble is for me like a top 5 graphic novel in the last 20 years. It's just like
Did you like Rubin? Like I thought it was cool, but I liked. I mean, I'm just being real, man. I liked Heron stuff like from the get,
yeah,
and it had like that
Herron
sensual
is
vibe,
like Herron is anybody who's not familiar with James Herron. Go out right now, stop this stream, get in your car, go to your comic shop and buy Ultra Mega.
I haven't got it yet.
And
I want to get it though.
and then it'll blow your mind, and then go read Rumble next. But you're talking about, I think, one of the great.
He's an energy guy. He's a big
Energy, so much
big
momentum.
energy. And that's big, right? That's big in storytelling, right?
I think it is. And in manga, they often talk about the 2 most important things are motion and emotion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
I think so, too.
I think sometimes, particularly in Western comics, and particularly maybe with less sophisticated artists, you get almost no motion and no emotion.
And you have to think
Right.
about that too when you're setting up a panel as an artist. Like, how am I affecting the room? How am I affecting
Right.
the weather? How are the physics portraying in this? Where's the perspective going? You know what I mean? What am I doing? What is the person's emotions? What are they emoting? What type of power am I doing? And Daniel Warren Johnson's another guy that's throwing down. I loved his Murder Falcon.
Murder Falcon is one of the best books, and it's same thing. Murder Falcon, it's like I
got that one too, man.
yeah, Murder Falcon. Anybody who hasn't seen this one, I got this one.
We got the hardcover. Hell yeah, bro.
And him signed it, at Comic-Con.
Oh fuck yeah.
This is, I mean, Daniel Warren Johnson is a legend. I mean, this guy is
He's all
delivering
energy, right?
all energy and emotion, and he's so good at capturing emotion. He's once again another writer, artist, auteur. Like, look at this. You look at this design work. You know what I mean? It's just,
and he's pretty quick, man. And he's just like a pro, like at a I don't want to say young, but
yeah.
So I watch he does the Friday live stream, Friday with D-Dubs, and just seeing him draw live has been a real inspiration to me, and just being fearless and not giving a fuck. So I'll go in there and I'll just like not worry about anything anymore. Like what he does with the whiteout and things like that. It's been very liberating for me. But he
makes sense.
Hard to recommend, man.
Yep, absolutely. Daniel Warren Johnson, fearless storyteller. Like, that's what I feel like is the catch-22 of corporate comics. And I say corporate comics because, when you're working for companies like Disney and Warner Brothers, I worked a lot for them in the television side. You have very little control, right? You have very little control. You're not fearless, and also too, let's be honest, you're making somebody else's IP, right? That
Correct.
Somebody else made famous, somebody else made incredible, and you're just a footnote, to be frank. And Corey is totally right. Emotions can be hard to draw, but
yeah, they are.
They're arguably the single most important thing to draw,
right?
Because they are what connect you to the story.
It's weird too in a comic because like you have to find say there's a bunch of dialogue you're dumping, it's almost like you got to find the emotion of the last spoken word in that panel for them to portray on their face, or at least to emote, and you know what I mean? Like fuck, because like what if he says a bunch of happy shit and then at the end it's some, melancholic, statements, so you're like, oh man, and then you got to find a way to emote that.
Yep,
100%. It's hard.
And then there's also too composition. This Daniel Warren Johnson spread is so good at just conveying an emotion here, right? That they're there on the van waiting for this monster, and just the one bubble, the big scope, the feeling that creates. Now,
you gotta do that sometimes, man. You got to put that scope in there. You gotta show how big shit is. And
no,
I think he's one of the, for me, he's a visionary. Another guy was Tradd Moore. I thought Tradd Moore was a visionary. What he did with like Luther Strode. I don't know if you ever read those books.
I didn't read Luther Strode. That's kind
of. You would, I'm like, oh, you would love those books, because imagine, dude, check out Luther Strode. I guarantee you will love it, Adam. The first, it's like, well, I don't want to spoil it. Just I promise you'll love the legacy of Luther Strode. It's 3 graphic novels. And it's all. You probably have it, dude. You probably have it, though. You probably have it already.
I mean, I need to, whatever that you've just described, I need to get in on that but here's this great moment here. This is one of my favorite moments in storytelling from Murder Falcon. And why I love this is because look at this moment here, this page over here. Mm-hmm. It's 5 panels.
That's all breathing, baby.
Debating on whether or not he can knock on the door of his house, right? Here he is. He's coming to his house, and it's his wife who hasn't spoken to in a while. And because of I don't want to spoil it. And just the way he plays out that emotion on his face to knock on the door. It's one of the most meaningful pages in the whole book. And that's a sophisticated storytelling. And that's the advanced stuff, right? It is. And I think that that was much of what we were also trying to figure out, very much so with JAWBONE Death, right? Like, how do you convey this emotion, right? Like, I love in this page, right? See, like, she's there basking in the blood of these 2 people she's killed.
That's from the get. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've said it before. It's probably the 3rd time I've said this about this book, is it grabs you by the fucking throat right from the beginning. And it's hard to do that in the beginning of a book, man. Like, and like I said, dude, I ain't fucking blowing no smoke or kissing no ass or whatever. This was the most highly anticipated book of 2024 that I wanted to get. And, man, I can't wait to see where it goes, dude.
Well, you were too kind, man. Well, I mean, I could talk this all day, because this is my, one of my favorite conversations, right? Is how do you create the storytelling in a comic, or how do you create it in a visual medium like a film? And it sounds like, Matt, you and I, and probably many of the guys in the chat, feel the same thing about what it was we loved about storytelling and what we still love about it. So, this is JAWBONE Death, and Matt, I really appreciate you, reaching out to me and getting me on the show. I love talking about this. Could do it all day.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, and thanks everybody for watching. And Adam, where can people find you?
The best is on X is the best place to find me, or Twitter. At Gifted Rebels Co. Is the best place to find me. I'm just the most active there. You can also find me Instagram at the same handle and TikTok at the same handle. But yeah, I do reviews now. My thing is I'm going to be doing a review or a book haul drop every Tuesday and Thursday.
Nice.
And I'm consuming a large pile of graphic novels all the time, and it's like I want to share that passion. So, and if you want to really read what's in my heart and what's on the page here, back JAWBONE DEAth. So, thanks,
for
man.
sure. And yeah, just real quick, you guys check out JAWBONE DEAth. It's pinned at the top. You got the foil edition T-shirt bundle tier at the top. You also got the foil cover CGC tier, a few last pages of art, and that's pretty much it, guys. And get in there and check it out. Thanks again, dude, for coming on. Love to have you on again for JAWBONE issue 2.
I would love to be back, bro.
Do some more deep diving on all this cool stuff. And yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later.
Later.